This past spring, we first talked about the Allen Band and the difficult events for our next guest that gave him the idea. Well, progress has continued, and now we're at a point where you can get involved in bringing the Allen Band to the market. Here to compute this, Thor Schrock from Schrock Innovations.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
What is the Allen Band, Thor?
Okay, so the idea behind the Allen Band is a device that seniors can wear. You think about it like a life alert, kind of, but instead of wearing a giant I am infirm pendant around your neck that you can't wear inside your clothes because it won't work right. You have to wear it on the outside where everyone can see it, and it has a button you can press. But with my dad, he fell, had a slow motion fall out of a chair and hit the wall and knocked himself out. He's not pushing a button. He laid there for 24 hours and he almost died. So as I'm sitting there next to his hospital bed, feeding him and, basically doing things like with more delicacy than I would feed my 2-year-old, because, when you lose half the muscle mass in your body, you can't hold a spoon. There's so many muscles, I had no idea, involved in swallowing. You can't swallow. So, it was nuts. So we're going through all this and I'm sitting by the hospital bed and cognitively, I did everything I could. As soon as I found out I was there, I did everything I could as fast as I could to save his life. But you're always sitting there saying, I could have done more, I should have done more. And it occurred to me, why didn't he have like a life alert or something? So I started looking into it and found out that none of the devices on the market would have helped him in this situation, number one. And number two, the monitoring costs are like $41.95 a month.
And that's why a lot of people don't.
That's the leading reason why people don't. A lot of people would want to have one, but and here's the other problem. A lot of people, and when I say seniors, we continually redefine, seniors. Miley Cyrus is a senior, that's going to be interesting. But, we continually redefine how old a senior citizen is. But for a medical definition, 1 in 3 seniors over the age of 65 will suffer a fall every year. So go to church, grab 3 people over the age of 65, one of those 3 people is going to fall down that year. And when they fall, if they can't get up, within 1 hour of being on the floor, their muscles start breaking down, and within 6 hours they can die. I mean, it's cartoonish. You don't think about that when I'm 38. I'm not thinking if I fall down, I might utter a few 4-letter words and get up and rub my knee or something and go back at it. But seniors can't do that all the time. So what's available for them? And you don't need this thing until you need it.
And then you really need it, because time is so precious at that point, as you're citing some of those numbers. So how does the band work then, that it would have made a difference for your dad and it would make a difference for millions of others?
Absolutely. So while I was sitting at his hospital, I just got my new Microsoft Band. And this can measure my heart rate. I went on a bike ride yesterday. Oh, I'm so sore. Yeah, my shoulders are sore from riding my bike. What the heck? But, I went on a bike ride and it could tell me how far I cycled, how many calories I burned, all this great information. So all this technology already exists. It's nothing we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just have to repurpose the technology for a different function. So seniors, as a rule, don't have smartphones. They don't want smartphones. They don't care about their heart rate. Maybe they care about how many steps they're taking, things like that, little counting stuff. But the purpose of the Allen Band primarily is to monitor inactivity. That's the problem he had when he fell and he was on the floor for 4 hours without moving. Either you're watching one heck of a Star Wars marathon and you haven't had to pee yet, or something's wrong. And so it could just buzz on his wrist. Bzz, bzz, are you okay? My dad doesn't do touch screens. He doesn't do little buttons. He doesn't do anything. So it's got to be very simple, very straightforward. It has to be completely waterproof so you can wear it in the shower.
So in that event, hypothetically, he would have touched it if he was okay, and if you didn't get a response from him, you would have known something was wrong.
Right. So when he fell, it would buzz on his wrist and say, "Are you okay?" And if you're okay, you just hit the okay button and nothing happens. But if you don't hit the button, or worse yet, you hit the "No, I'm not okay" button, or if you're just kind of sitting in your chair and you feel weird, something's not right, you can hit the "I need help" button. And instead of a nameless, faceless call center, that's where your $41.95 a month is going, to the people who answer the phones in the call centers. What we found is we can monitor all the Allen Band users with a web server. You hear about the cloud all the time. Well, the cloud is nothing but a computer on the internet. So we can monitor the band, and when the cloud says, okay, hey, somebody called for help or somebody hasn't responded after 4 hours of inactivity, let's send a text message or a push notification to what we're calling their caregivers.
Great.
Kids, neighbors, family members, friends at church, things like that, that do have smartphones or do receive text messages. They can get either a text message or a push notification on their phone saying, hey, Dad needs help. And it'll have all of his current vitals there. It'll have his heart rate.
Wow.
It'll have his body temperature, which is important in Nebraska
Wow.
because you're scooping snow outside, you have a heart attack, you fall in the snow.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad's going hypothermic. Do I want to just go check on Dad, which you could just go check on him.
Call an ambulance
Or
and get help.
there's actually a button you can just tap on the app that sends an ambulance to his
Wow.
GPS location.
So where are we now in this process? If you just had this idea earlier this year,
Yeah, in
what's
May.
happening right now?
All right, so we went through the preliminary design. We got a quote back from the factory that's going to build it. They said they need $22,500 to design the actual device. Schrock Innovations is going to design the software for the device, so we're going to do that in-house. But for the hardware stuff, it's $22,500. We went to our SBA lenders to try to see if they would back the project. They wanted to see, they're all about how many jobs have you saved or created with this device. So when we tell them it's monitored by a cloud server, we don't need any people,
Yeah.
they don't fund it. They want to see that monthly monitoring fee so that they have to fund it, so that it's going to create jobs and then they'll fund that. And so they wouldn't fund it. We want the monitoring to be free for life for the Allen
Because that's
Band.
what, for the customers, you're trying to reach those people who say, I'm not paying
Yeah.
$40 a month.
It's a one-time buy. Kids get it for mom or dad for Christmas, and it's done.
It's done.
And so what we're going to do is a Kickstarter campaign. If you're not familiar with Kickstarter, it's a crowdfunding system where basically everybody gets together and you can kick in $10 all the way up, and there's different reward levels. People ask me, how can I get an Allen Band? The easiest way to get the first one that's made, because we haven't made them yet, we're building the prototype, is you go to Kickstarter.com and you pledge $3.99 and you'll get one of the first Allen Bands that comes out. So we need to raise the $22,500. The more money that we raise, the faster we can develop it. So, you know, the total production for the device, start to finish, including the software, all the devices, the shipping, everything else, it's going to be about $100,000.
Wow.
So our secret internal hope is that we
Yeah.
raise 70 or 80 because you can keep going after you hit your goal.
And when does that campaign start?
It starts on the 13th of September.
September.
So it's coming up quicker than you think here. And so
Yeah.
it's really important, if you want to help with the Allen Band, it's really important to try to help on the first day. Because what happens is Kickstarter sees all these people contributing and they say, wow, this is hot, and they push it up to the front of the Kickstarter website, and then hundreds of thousands of people around the world see it and back it, and that's how it goes viral and gets the support of everybody else.
It's such a good idea. Thor, I know you do a lot of cool stuff with technology, but to me, this is one of those life-changing devices.
Yeah,
it's a great
it can save
idea.
lives.
I'm sorry that it happened the way it did for your family, but it's wonderful that you took your own experience and now
Well,
you're bringing
luckily,
it
my
to the
dad's back at
masses.
home, and he's for the most part recovered. And God works in some mysterious ways sometimes. And maybe this was, this was a catalyst. Who knows? We'll see how it goes.
Keep us posted, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Thor.